Talk to. Or nothing like a Sam Adams in the great outdoors. Hey, anybody want to trade tents? This is our show. Welcome everyone to my new talk show called Make a Change. Tonight we're gonna have Dustin from unemployment unemployment network. He's gonna come on and talk about the unemployment and why is it so important for us to sign the petition to have the unemployment reform because thousands of people have been denied of unemployment and they're finding loophole not to provide people with unemployment, and it has nothing to do with people don't want to work, but there are millions of people out there that cannot find a job or other people that are suffering from COVID, and it's in need of the unemployment benefits, but they're being denied for some reason, or they're being forced to go back to work for lesser pay and without benefits. So hi, Dustin. How you doing?
Hey Amanda, can you hear me all right?
I can't hear you.
You cannot hear me? Can you hear me?
Hold on, let me turn up the volume. Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
Okay.
now. Um, so tonight I brought you on because I wanted us to talk about the unemployment and for us to discuss why is it so important for people to engage into your petition to reform the unemployment. Also wanted them to know how difficult it has been for millions of people to get unemployment and how they've been finding every loophole to deny people of unemployment benefits, and how that a lot of states have ended the federal unemployment conversation, even though that it is set to end in September, but they felt the need to end it because they're saying people are lazy, they don't want to go back to work, and that is not the case. So I wanted to bring you on here because I felt like this petition really needs to be signed. We need to be pushing it, and also we need to be pushing the government to do more for us and to reform the unemployment because I don't feel that it should be difficult and you should have to wait over a year just to receive unemployment.
Yeah, I totally agree. Is there anyone else here?
No, it's me and you, but we are on Facebook, TikTok, and other platforms. So
Okay. All right. Yeah. If you want me to go ahead, I don't know if other people are watching. Have you shared this anywhere?
yes, I just shared it.
Okay. And is it like recorded so people can watch after or what? I've never
Yes.
used this app.
Yes, they can record. Go back and look at it. It's also on YouTube on my YouTube page. So I got it connected with all my platforms that I have: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, also YouTube, and I also like share on my TikTok page as well.
Okay. All right. Cool. I wish I've never used this thing before, but I wish it had the face like the make up my face thing that Zoom has. I'm looking kind of rough. It's been a long day.
You look fine.
Thank you. Now, so for everyone that may be watching, my name is Dustin. I am a national distributed organizer with an organization called Unemployed Workers United. And what we're doing is we are organizing unemployed and precariously employed workers, specifically, just like Amanda had mentioned, to get our petition signed. We are petitioning, we are demanding that Congress and President Biden's administration fix the unemployment insurance system and institute stronger federal protections for workers. We want to make sure that we are expanding the eligibility requirements. So if someone is classified as a contractor, if you're getting a 1099, we want to make sure that for the next pandemic, next thing, whatever happens, you are taken care of too. Right now, we had to come up with a new program called PUA for 1099 and contract workers. Otherwise, they're just not eligible for unemployment insurance. We also want to expand the benefits, so the duration, how long people can receive benefits, because right now in a lot of states, they can just make up their own rules. They can say, oh, you only get 12 weeks, oh, you only get 25 weeks. We need, and we've seen during this pandemic, that people need more certainty from the unemployment insurance system that they've all paid into. Um, I'm going to send you, Amanda, the link to the petition. I'm not sure if you've shared it before, um, but I'll put that in here in the chat. In addition to our private Facebook group, um, this is for just anybody to join. We're talking about issues surrounding not just the unemployment changes that are coming up, but just the nature of work itself. Right now, and Amanda, like you mentioned, a lot of these governors and a lot of these politicians and business owners, they're all saying that, oh, people don't want to work. It's extra $300. It's making everyone lazy. I'm having a hard time finding workers. Well, you want to look at who is saying that the most. Who's saying it the most are the people that treated people like they were disposable to begin with, even before the pandemic, paying them just above the minimum wage, if not the bare minimum wage of $7.25 an hour, giving them unpredictable schedules so that they couldn't get reliable childcare. They couldn't pick their kids up from school. They couldn't be there when their kids were home. That kind of thing can't exist anymore. We were already in a bad situation before the pandemic. A lot of people just last year in 2020 were getting back on their feet after what happened in 2008. Now this pandemic hits and it changes the entire nature of work. There, right now, we're seeing that unemployed workers and workers in general are realizing their own power. We don't have to settle for these BS jobs anymore. We don't have to go into the restaurant and the kitchen and suffer verbal and physical abuse from customers for the tip minimum wage, which is just a little bit over $2 an hour. People are realizing that they're going back to school, they're gaining skills, but the folks that we seem to listen to, these business owners, they're just saying, "Oh, folks are lazy. We need to cut them off. Cut that $300." When that is really a lifeline for a lot of people. We are still in this pandemic. Things have not gone back to the way that they were. A lot of things never will. And something like this, these 26 state governors prematurely canceling these benefits when the federal government has already allocated this money all the way out to September is just a pinch. So absolutely sign this petition to join our movement. We are getting larger by the day. We're reaching more people every single day. Join our Facebook group as well. We just hosted our July unemployment insurance Know Your Rights workshop. Amanda spoke at one of our previous ones, I believe in June, to share more about her story, and she's been a steadfast leader in our movement and our organization ever since. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I have, Amanda. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and also I feel like with the with unemployment, they should stop allowing employers to block their employees from getting unemployment as well. Because myself, my employer blocked me from getting unemployment because they lied to say that I involuntarily quit my job when they fired me for getting COVID because they didn't want to hold the responsibility of me getting COVID. And so a lot of times that do take place when it comes to unemployment and them deny you of benefits. Even though they know that the job did not have valid reason to terminate your employment, they would still use that to deny you the benefits. So I think it's very important, even those that are not suffering right now because of unemployment. I want you to think about if this was you in this predicament, because it can be you, it could be anybody. We can all lose your job or anything, and you could be in this predicament. So don't think that just because you're not having trouble now, that this may not happen to you in the future. And this is what we're trying to prevent from ongoing in the future. It's like we had enough. We had enough with our lawmakers, our government, controlling our everyday lives. We're tired of them telling us that we should go and suffer on a job, pay minimum wages, don't want to offer us great benefits, don't want to offer us sick pay, don't want to take care of their employees in no shame of fashion. And we're still being forced to work in those unhealthy conditions because unemployment do not want to help you with the unemployment benefits. So we need to stand up and say, hey, we had enough. We put you guys in office. You guys work for us. We are paying our tax dollars. So we want you guys to do your job because government is supposed to work for people. So anytime that there's no bill or anything that passed to favor the people, then the government is not working. Okay? So if they want to say we're lazy, then we look at government officials and find out why they have not passed bills to help the American people. You know, yes, they did give out the stimulus package, but people was already behind tremendously, and they're because they would refuse unemployment benefits. People was losing their homes and all of these type of things because they was refusing unemployment. Half of the time you get on the phone, you can never get anyone to talk to you. Second of all, when you do get someone to talk to you, they give you the runaround when it comes to unemployment benefit. And I feel like if you're a hardworking person and you're paying your tax, then you should be able to be qualified for any benefits that you need help, because that's why they are put in place. And people do not look at it as like free money, because nothing the government gives you is free. When you're working, you're paying taxes, you are paying into these benefits. So when you get sick, you should be able to use these benefits to help you. That's what they are placed for. So if they're not giving it to you, they're refusing to give it to you, then how are they helping you? So we have to think about that. Don't look at it as if, oh, it's free money, and people just want to be lazy and they want to sound like out and collect free money, because you're not collecting free money. Every year when you have unemployment benefits, you have to claim that on your taxes. So it's not free benefits for you. So that's the reason why it is so important that you go and sign the petition to reform the unemployment. We need you guys to help us to fight, because we need to do this together. You know, we need to let them know that we had enough. You know.
Yeah, and it's just like you said, Amanda. It was kind of hard to hear you. I turned my video off. Maybe that would help the stream a little bit. But you know, it's so frustrating to be calling every single day. This is our money. We have paid into this. We are paying our taxes, and when the time comes where we need those benefits, it's like they never knew us. It's like somebody trying to dodge a bill. I never thought I'd be on the other end of that thing. I feel like a bill collector myself, trying to get my unemployment after a year and a half now. And that's why it's so important that we get together and we organize. These folks whose companies depend on keeping people so desperate, keeping people in these dead end jobs that don't pay enough for you to save, that don't pay enough even for you to live. You might be surviving for 1 week, 1 week to the next, but that's no way to live a life and raise a family. they depend on things staying the same. They are not counting on us actually coming together and raising our voices to demand change. And we can't wait on these corporations or these politicians to decide that they're going to change on their own. We have to demand it ourselves. I can't stay for too long, Amanda, but this was an awesome opportunity. Thank you so much for having me this evening.
You're welcome. And also, if we don't push our government to do more, then they want to do less. So the way we can push our government is by getting together, signing this petition, and making sure that we can get these unemployment reform for everyone that needs it. So that way, people do not have to keep suffering while they're out here trying to find another job, and they will be able to maintain their bills. And also, they should be able to get enough money to maintain their bills from unemployment. I feel like they pay also that they may be, some people saying they're only getting $100 a week. That is not enough. And I feel like during this pandemic, they should have been giving people more because it was the government decision to force these people to stop working because of this pandemic. So the fact that you can tell these people, okay, don't go to work, and you're going to give them $100 a week, and their bills come up to $1,500 or maybe $2,000 a month. I felt like that's like a slap in the face, being that this pandemic happened of nobody's choice. So why are there people are suffering because of it, and why they're punishing people? Because that's what it seems like. It's a punishment because we're not getting the help that we need, from our government. When this pandemic came and put a lot of people out of work, a lot of people have risked their health working. A lot of healthcare workers end up getting COVID, and some of them like me getting denied for unemployment, don't have no benefits, can't get no rental assistance to help them with their bills, and every day they have to suffer mentally, physically, and emotionally because they don't have no help. Did you want to add something else, Justin?
Nope, I was just putting the petition once again in the chat. I definitely want to join you for more of these, Amanda, and we want to see if we can get some other workers on here to share their stories as well. Because when we share our stories, we give clarity and insight to other folks out there who might be thinking, "Hey, why is this happening to me? Why me?" Doesn't seem like anyone else is going through the same stuff, but they are all over the country. And it's by coming together and listening to each other that we force the government, our elected leaders, and these business leaders to listen to us. And that's really what needs to happen. But I want you to have a wonderful evening, Amanda. Thank you again for anyone who's watching at home. And I hope to speak with you all soon again.
And thank you for coming on my show. This is why I built this platform, so that way we can help each other to get things done that we feel that need to be changed, and help people to get through these difficult times. So that's the reason why I did this platform is to get the word out there, to get people to be able to tell their stories so that they can find help, and let them know that they have a support group that is here to willing to fight with them.
Mm-hmm. Again, thank you, Amanda. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Hope there are more folks that can join you in this conversation because it needs to be had. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you for coming on.
Thank you. I'll see you later.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, that was Dustin from the Unemployment Network. And like I said, he put the petition in the chat. So anyone that wants to sign that petition, I urge you to please go and sign the petition. And please, people, stop looking at it as just free money, because it's not free money. It's money that people need to pay their bills. And just because you're not in this situation, please do not look at it that you can be in this situation. So please, because we need everybody help. It's time for American people to come together for once in a lifetime to sign these petitions so that we can make changes. We can't keep sitting on our couch complaining about the things that we see going on, but we're not willing to stand up and do anything about it. We're not willing to fight back. We keep allowing these people to deny us of benefits, of help. We keep allowing them to put our health in jeopardy, and yet we sit there and we don't do nothing. It's time for us to stand up and work together and get these petitions signed so we can get the changes made that we need to be made. We need to come together as an American people. Everybody needs to join together as an American people, and we need to fight together to get the changes done that needs to begin done. So I'm just saying, asking everyone to please. You can also, if you're on my Facebook page, he is also linked to my Facebook page to find it, the unemployment, and you can go there and try to look for the petition to sign it. But I'm urging everyone to please take it in consideration, because it is time for us to stand up. We cannot keep sitting on our couch, keep saying that, hey, we don't like this. This is what's going on in our life. And, we need to stand up, stand up. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So it's time for you to stand up and say enough is enough. I am sick of the government trying to control us. I am sick of the government putting our health at risk. And I am sick of the government acting like there's no fundings to help the American people, especially when we see them every day taking vacation, going on yachts, all of this stuff, and they're not struggling like we're struggling. So is it fair for the American people to begin to deny benefits, being said that they don't have funders, but yet they have funders to send to other countries. They have funders for their own pockets. They have funders to also help their own agendas. They need to have funders to help people during this hard time. And as you can see, the pandemic is not over, because the COVID are still at merge. There are still a lot of numbers of COVID going up by the day. People are still being infected with COVID. People's lives still have been impacted by COVID. And so this is what we need to do. They are forcing you guys to go back to work, doing a hazard environment, forcing you guys to take low paying wages job. We still haven't got that $15 raise that we were supposed to get for minimum wage that was promised to us. We still haven't got that. And I'm not understanding why they need to negotiate on the $15 being a minimum wage. Just because somebody doesn't have a high school diploma or a college degree doesn't mean that they should live in poverty. Doesn't mean that they should not be able to feed their kids. Doesn't mean that they should not be able to pay their bills. Doesn't mean that they should live from paycheck to paycheck, to where they can't be at home to enjoy their children, to take care of their children, because they always have to be at work, because their wages are so low that they have to work either 70 to 90 hours a week just to provide for their family. That they can't even get a vacation off to spend with their family. A lot of jobs are not giving people sick pay. They're adding the sick vacation in with the regular vacation, and they're making you as to earn. So if you get 75 hours a week and the hours accumulate as 0.35 hours. So for you to get 2 weeks off, you'd have had to work almost 2,000 hours or more just to get 2 weeks off of a vacation. The reason why we're having a lot of health issues is because people are working way too much, not taking care of themselves properly mentally. It's because they're too busy on a job trying to work and provide for their family. They cannot be off from work when they're sick. They have to rush themselves back to work, and then it keep lingering other health issues. That's why it's so important for us to just come together and say, you know what, we don't have enough of this. I'm not going to continue to stand by and watch people to keep getting low pay. We're tired of these people catering to corporations that are making millions of dollars, but yet they're not paying their workers enough money to get by. As you see multi-millionaires paying to go out of space, which they're saying, oh, well, it's in the benefit of the people. No, it's not, because you have all that money to pay to go out of space, but yet you have a lot of workers that doesn't have great health care. You have a lot of workers that cannot afford to have sick pay, and you have a lot of workers that are being paid low poverty pay, and they are working from paycheck to paycheck. We can't just sit by and keep complaining about the things that are going on without doing anything. This is why we continuously to get broken promises for these government officials. When it's time for them to be elected, they will come out and tell you, oh, we'll do this for you. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. Once they get elected, then you find them not doing half of the work that they promised the American people. Now, when Joe Biden was running his campaign, he promised that he was going to upgrade the minimum wage to $15 an hour. That's what he promised. Did he obtain his promise to us? No, because the federal wages is still not $15 an hour. It's still not $15 an hour. He promised that employees will have better health care, sick pay, and all of that. And employees to this day is still not getting better health care or sick pay. Jobs are still underpaying people. They're still not being accountable for their taxes. They're not paying as much taxes as what we was told. But the working people, they're getting a lot of taxes taken out of their checks. They're still paying high taxes. The cost of living has risen up, but the minimum wages is still low. Food have went up. Gas prices is sky high to where people can't afford to get gas. Apartments have raised their rents, and people can barely afford to pay their rent. People have to juggle to where I'm going to pay rent or I'm going to be able to feed my kids. I'm going to have to put gas in my car, or would I be able to have money to give my kids, buy them some clothes and supplies that they may need? You should not be on a job working over 40 hours and not be able to pay all your bills. You should not have to go and seek another job just to be able to pay all your bills. And that is what's happening. A lot of people are working 2 to 3 jobs, which is causing them health issues because the pay is way too low, especially healthcare workers. We don't get paid half of the money that they deserve. Healthcare workers are underpaid daily and overworked. One CNA will have over 20 some people, sometimes 40 in a nursing home setting. In a hospital setting and critical patient, they are giving out STNA over 18 patients to take care of. Nurses are having sometimes 60 patients to give medication to provide wound care, skin assessment, and all of these things. They're having that one nurse to have 60 patients. 60 patients for one nurse. SDNAs would have, in a nursing home setting, would have 15 to sometimes 20 to 40 patients to take care of. And these corporations are making money. Half the time you go to work in the healthcare field, especially in these nursing homes, you don't even have the equipment, the proper PPE, or the proper equipment to take care of your patients. You don't have. They're not providing it. Why? Because they're too busy pocketing money and not taking care of their employees. Nursing assistant and nurses are going home every day from working 12-hour shifts, sometimes 16. Sometimes nurses are getting mandated to stay over to work. And it has nothing to do with STNAs want to work. It has nothing to do with nurses wanting to work. It has to do with a lot of nursing homes are cutting back staff because they're claiming they're low census. Because they're claiming that they're low census. So you want to give one STNA over 20 some patients to take care of. That's why you see a lot of health issues, a lot of patients are being neglected in these nursing home settings, in these hospital settings, is because they're giving their nursing assistant and their nurses way too many patients to take care of at one time. And when you speak up about it, you are being threatened your job. You are being threatened your job. So you're constantly, as a healthcare worker, put in hazard situations to where you cannot say anything because it would cost you your job. You know how many times nursing homes, hospitals cover up abuse, neglect, and malpractice in these fields? It's because that they are overworking their staff on purposely, not because people don't want to work. It's because they are purposely shorting their staff. Because if you have one STNA that does work of two STNA, guess what? That other STNA, the money that they would have paid that other STNA, they're saving. The money that they would have paid that other nurse, they're saving. So that's the reason why they don't care about having one STNA or one nurse to work and have multiple patients. It's because they get to save that money. Let's go to working at fast food restaurant. It's not that people don't want to work. It's just people are tired of working, being overworked and underpaid. People are tired of these corporations intentionally cutting staff just so that they can pocket money and having that one cashier of their workers working short every day, putting them in a hazard environment, causing them to have health issues and not caring about their health. That is why people need to sign the petition to reform the unemployment, to also make Congress pass that bill to raise the minimum wages and hold corporations, employers accountable for their employees, to hold them accountable for their employees' health, hold them accountable for overworking their employees and treating their staff like shit. That's what they need to have to do with these employers. They need to hold them accountable and not punish the working people. So that's the reason why we need to come together. We need to come together and we need to really work hard and get in this petition signed. Because you know what? When we work together, we get petition signed, that let them know that, hey, we had enough. We're no longer going to let you give us false promises. We no longer going to stand by and keep reelecting you for you to do absolutely nothing for the next 4 years or the next 2 years. We don't need to keep having senators and governors in seats just to hold up a seat. We need them in the seats to be able to do some work. We need them in seats to be able to do what they need to do for the American people. That's what we need them to do for us. We are tired of them giving us false promises and false hope. We're tired of looking at the left wing and the right wing. When they are all governor officials, they should come together and they need to work for the people. Or we need to start every 4 years or every 2 years, we need to start voting them out of their office, re-electing other people to work for us. We need to get government official who cares about us, who understands and is willing to make changes to help the American people. We don't need governors that's in the seat to lie to us and tell us what they're going to do. And we need to stop being afraid to stand up against our government officials because they work for us. We see every day on the news, on the TV, of how that they cannot come together and pass a simple bill to help American people. You saw last year, how long did it took them to pass a bill to give you a stimulus check? And why did they want to make the stimulus check so low that you can even pay all your bills? Continuously, we keep allowing these government officials during their campaign to make false promises to us. They want us to believe their lies. They want us to believe that they're for us. And then when they get in the seat, they do nothing for us. They do nothing for us. They do absolutely nothing. I do not think that local governments should have control over unemployment benefits. I don't think that they should make their own laws when it comes to unemployment benefit. I think the unemployment benefit need to be at a federal level, all over, so that way the state governors cannot change it and make it difficult for people to get benefits, or make it hard for people to receive benefits, or have people to wait a period of time just to receive benefits. I think that needs to stop. Also, with the Social Security, I think that you should not have to continuously to reapply for disability after a doctor have cleared you to be disabled. You should not have to spend years fighting for disability after you have been declared disabled and cannot work. I feel like they should not. So we need to make these people reform all of these things, because it's not about us being lazy. It's about them not wanting to help the American people. It's not about people are brutalizing the system. It's about them not wanting to help American people. They want you to think that it's about people wanting to get free money, or people that want to be lazy, or people that take advantage of the benefits. It's about them not wanting to help you anyways. So this is the narrative that they'll push to say that it's the American people that are brutalizing the system. Just like they was trying to say that the unemployment, it was having a lot of fraudulent with the unemployment. I figured that was going to happen, because you know why they throw that narrative out there? It's because they wanted to make it difficult for people to receive unemployment. And that is exactly what they did. They used that as a narrative to say, hey, we have people are fraudulent towards unemployment. And I'm like, well, how did the people get these people information? They had to get it from the people who working for the unemployment system, because they're the only one that would have your Social Security and all that type of stuff. So I can imagine anyone else getting your information and fraudulently using it for unemployment. But that is the narrative that they use, not to be able to give you unemployment. Then they try to say, well, you're not physically able to work. Well, if the government took off everybody from work, then they wasn't physically able to work. If you caught COVID, then you wasn't physically able to work. You wasn't physically able to work. So you should put on your application, when you know that you're on isolation and you're unable to work, you're supposed to still say you're physically able to work when you're not able to work. That's like falsifying the documents. So it didn't even make sense. So how can you physically be able to work if you got sick with COVID? And the doctor said that you're on isolation. The CDC said that you need to be on isolation. The government forbid you to go to work because they put you on isolation. So if you was to go to work, or you was to go out there looking for a job after the government have told you that you are not allowed to go out because of COVID, then how do that makes you physically able to work? Explain it to me. I feel like, as far as the healthcare workers, if you get COVID on your job, your job should be responsible to pay you sick pay while you're out. They need to be responsible to pay their employees. If their employees got sick on the job, they need to cover that and not try to deny them of unemployment or any other benefits. I don't think it should be up to the job. I think it should be a fair go, to where if you fired that employee and that employee had good reason, have been terminated for nothing, then that employee should be able to get unemployment. Or if you put that employee in a hazard predicament and that an employee didn't want to work in a hazard environment and chose to quit, then I feel like they should be able to get unemployment because they're saving themselves. So you're telling them that they should go endanger their life and their health in order to pay bills because you're refusing to give them unemployment. That's exactly what you're doing. When you're refusing to give people unemployment, or if you're ending the federal unemployment and forcing people to go back to work, you're forcing people to go back and work in a hazard environment, and you're forcing them to work for minimum wages. Instead of you making the employers step it up, pay their people more. I see Biden on the TV talking about, well, you ought to pay them more. Well, Biden, you need to put in law for them to pay the peoples more because you promised us a $15 wages increase. That's the reason why we went out in numbers to get you in that seat. You're not making us feel good by you standing up there saying that the employees need to pay more. You need to make them pay more. We need them, our law and government official, to pass that 15 minimum wage increase. I don't think it's fair for a person to be on the job for 10 years and still making the same pay. Do you think that's fair for a working person, that hard working person, been on a job for over 20 years and they're still getting paid minimum wages? I think their pay should have increased a long time ago. A lot of employers are taking advantage of that. A lot of employees are finding loopholes not to offer their employees health benefits or any type of benefits because you have to have 40 hours to consider as full time in order to get any benefit from the employer. And a lot of times the employer will do what? Hire you part-time so that they do not have to give you any health care or any other benefits. And they will have you working part-time hours 5 days a week, wasting your time so that you won't be eligible to get benefits. That's how they're getting off too. So I think that our government officials need to be making these corporations step it up, these employers to pay more. You're telling me you don't have enough money to pay me more when you're driving in a Lexus, you're driving in a BMW, you have a condo, a house on the mountains, but yet you don't have enough money to pay your workers. You expect me to come to work and work harder than you for your company to make you successful when I can't even go home and pay all my bills and feel good about it? You want me to care more about your company when you're not even working as hard? Half of the time you don't even come to check on your employees. It is time for us to come together. We need to get this unemployment reform. We need to get our 15 minimum wage up to $15 an hour. We also need to have a union for every job to give employees rights that will fight for employees. We need to have some kind of union to make the employers step it up and treat their employees better, to pay their employees more, to give their employee great benefits. to offer their employees sick pay, to take care of their employees that have gotten sick on the job so that they can be at home working on getting their health together and to be able to pay their bills and not endangering their health by rushing themselves to go back to work just because they don't have no means of paying their bills. So that's what we need to do, people. Dustin is on here. He has a page on Facebook. He has a petition. He gave it to me. And
I don't know how you can ever convince me that President Trump did that splendid thing based on all the things you see.
I mean, isn't that exactly what drove the insurrection?
Well, there is a pretty compelling body of evidence that says just that, Anderson, and that is part of what this select committee's task is to do, is to connect those dots to figure out what went wrong here on January 6th, and then come up with solutions to prevent it from ever happening in the future. And that's why there was a lot of concern about the picks that Kevin McCarthy was going to make to this panel. And Jim Jordan's name certainly jumps off the page as someone who has been a consistent and loyal defender of the former president, despite his inaccurate rhetoric about the 2020 election and the fact that he continues to peddle those lies. In fact, listen to what
so you guys,
about his appointment to this committee when we caught up with him this afternoon.
You know what this is about? This is about going after President Trump. You know, the Democrats, they don't want to talk about anything else. They got to talk about this.
So he's talking about President Trump. He's worried that this is just going to be a committee that only is trying to go after President Trump and nothing else. So it shows you his mindset going in to this process.
So you guys, I have the petition here. I'm gonna try to
Is there any reason to think she will?
share with you guys.
Question here tonight, and we talked to 3 or 4 different members, the Democratic members of the select committee, and each one of them said, to be clear, these are not the official names yet because Speaker Pelosi has that veto power. And her office told me tonight that she is reviewing those picks right now, but she's not officially confirmed that they will be a part of the panel.
So I'm going to be posting a petition on my Facebook page. And please, people, you can go to it and click on the links that he put in on my chat for you guys to be able to sign the petition and also to get involved. If you want to get involved, I encourage you to get involved because it's very important that we get the petition signed. You guys have a great night. I will be back on Monday again, and I will see you guys. You guys have a wonderful day, and remember, we have to fight together. We have to be working together to get things done for us. This is not just for me; it's for everyone. And we have to be willing to fight, and we have to be willing to stand up and say enough is enough. And we have to come together and, to fight together to get things done so we can get the help that we need. Y'all have a great night.